Delegate Davis, you're co-chair of the John Kasich for President campaign. He's trying to elbow his way into the news. You got a big debate Wednesday night. What do you see?
I think he's going to be picking up some steam, John. I'm hoping that the, proverbial food fight is done. I'm hoping that the moderators are done asking about what everyone thinks about what Trump said the day before, and they actually are going to focus on policy. And that's where Kasich shines. We've all seen the plan he put out for what he wants to do when he's president, from the balanced budget within 8 years to a number of other things. It's a great plan. A lot of the Republican leadership has come out and said not only is it a good plan, but it's a realistic plan, and I think we're going to see a lot of that.
Well, I hope we do. And if you look at the difference in the questions on the CNN Democratic debate, they really focused on issues which I think helped Clinton. And like you say, the Republican debates, it's been like Animal House, basically. And, who said what about who? And, they squeal in glee, the moderators, when they can get an exchange by two candidates. And I don't think it's fair. And so hopefully in Colorado, we're going to see a different type of debate.
Well, I'm hoping that as well. I mean, we've had enough entertainment. It's great that it's brought in significant viewership to watch our Republican candidates, but it's time that we get some substance. And once that starts happening, I think we're going to see a lot more from John Kasich.
I think this race is going to devolve here, or evolve, you could say it either way, into two races. Carson Trump for that segment of the Republican electorate, and then Jeb Bush, John Kasich, Chris Christie for that wing. I ultimately believe that the final two candidates standing, they're going to battle this out, is going to be Trump, Kasich. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you do have two of the leaders of the two different, sections, right? You got Trump for those that really want someone completely on the outside of the system, although people forget that, John Kasich, it used to be viewed as one of those people that would go out there and shake things up, as he's done in Congress and Ohio in the past. But, Trump represents that group. And then you've got those that, are looking for that policy guy to go out there that has a plan to get America on the right track again and actually has details to share with the American people. And, of course, John Kasich's leading that. So I think that's how we end up with those two, battling it out at the end.
I think that's going to be very, very interesting. And, I got to be candid with you, Delegate Davis. You look at the Jeb Bush for President campaign, I wouldn't bet 5 cents on it now. He's having to redo staff, cut payroll, downsize his campaign. The money's drying up. I don't even know what his message is. I don't think he's going to be there long.
Well, I was at the event that Regent University had last week with Jeb Bush, and he's a great guy. He's very sincere, a huge passion for education, as many of us share. But you hear all these stories coming out of that camp, and you're right. You wonder just how much longer it can hold on. He's looking for that niche for his base, but I'm not sure how much of that hasn't gone into other camps.
Well, I think your candidate, the governor of Ohio, John Kasich, is going to be the one at the end of the day that picks a lot of that up. He's going to be seen as the viable challenger to the current front runner now, Donald Trump. And you can say it's on the establishment side, but as you pointed out, and I've said, when John Kasich was in the House of Representatives, he was one of Newt Gingrich's lieutenants, and he was seen to be a rabble-rouser and definitely somebody that shook things up and was part of Gingrich's takeover, if you will. So he had a very different image in the House than he has right now in this campaign.
Oh, definitely. You remember back then, when you talked about a balanced budget, look, the Democrats didn't want it, the Republicans didn't want it. It's kind of, everyone talks about both parties like to spend money. So he kind of went up there with the bull in the china shop, and he tells a great story about it. But, over years, he eventually got it done. And it just goes to show, people may look at him today and say, well, you're kind of that establishment, you're leading Ohio, but the fact of the matter is he was a bull in the china shop when he turned Ohio around. He was a bull in the china shop when he got us the balanced budget in Washington. And he's going to go up to take things up again, get America back on the right track.
I got to ask you about this because I'm getting text. It's blowing my phone up about these tolls on I-66. Terry McAuliffe's $17 I-66 toll plan. Look, we in Southeast Virginia have to deal with the disastrous Midtown Tunnel tolls that we have. Will the General Assembly be involved in that decision at all?
Well, I can tell you we have a number of people in our caucus, obviously the ones up in that area, looking at that, and the General Assembly can be involved, and how do we get involved? We were told the other day, John, that this issue is tolls. The voters are more passionate about this than they were about Gilmore's car tax. That's how high this issue polls in Northern Virginia. It's one of the reasons why some of us are actually saying we may see 70 members in the House of Delegates by the time this whole election cycle is over. It's a huge issue. The people up there don't want it. The Democrats now are distancing themselves away from the governor's position. It's a hot topic, and we're going to do what we think we can do to correct it.
Okay, I got a text here from Amy in Fairfax. Amy says, and I quote, "These Democratic geniuses want to now add a toll lane to Braddock Road." So the tolls go on. But, I mean, why would let me just ask you this. We've got a couple of minutes. Why would Governor McAuliffe be closing on tolls? How does that make any sense?
John, I don't know, but it's not the first time something that he may have put out didn't make sense. So I have the question, but when your own party runs away from you a little bit on issues, it sends a pretty strong sign. So I'm hoping that we get something corrected up there for the people of Fairfax, Northern Virginia, and a lot of our leadership is looking at it.
2 more minutes. We're with Glenn Davis event. Do you think some of these negative ads just might go over the top and backfire?
Well, they're definitely over the top. There's no doubt about that. I mean, John, you and I both know Frank Wagner. He's come for the state. Going back to '91, we both know about his graduation from the Naval Academy and the character of this man. These ads are over the top, and probably the same thing up there with Glenn. The problem is you look at the poll numbers. The Democrats are losing. They're losing hard in the district. The anti-gun lobbying groups have come in with a boatload of money, and all you can do is create these hugely negative ads, run them over and over again, and pray that the Hail Mary works. And last time I checked, there's only one Doug Flutie, and I think the success of these negative ads are even less than those Hail Mary passes. So I don't think they're going to work, but unfortunately, it's got to be very tough being the spouse of those candidates or a family member seeing those ads run, knowing that it's nothing but a bunch of lies. But you're going to see them for the next 6 days.
Well, I think you are, and I just have to say one thing that my wife Ann said. I guess in the 7th district, McCollum is running one negative ad. I don't know what it is, but when they put the picture of Wagner up, apparently it's a very much younger Frank Wagner, and his hair was blown in the wind, and I guess what they meant that to be was some kind of a negative connotation. But every time it comes on, my wife Ann says, "Oh, look at the young Frank Wagner. He was so adorable." So I think it's actually helping him. She says it every time. She says he was so cute.
I think Frank used his freshman photo on his campaign literature for the first 10 years in office. But I remember those pictures.
I know. Anyway, it's not helping McCollum, the negative ad that they put up. It's actually helping Wagner anyway. It did with my wife. So that's going to be it. Glenn Davis, we're out of time. We want to thank Glenn Davis for joining us. Republican Glenn Davis represents the 84th District in Virginia Beach, running unopposed. Hey, Glenn, quick, website. What is it?
www.glennrdavis.com.
glennrdavis.com. Thanks for being with us, Glenn.